Hello, welcome back. It is Monday, January 8th, 2024, and I'm actually coming to you live from home. It has been a while since we have done since I have done a broadcast, a live show. It's been a minute. I ended up not doing any during my trip to St. Pierre because the internet in St. Pierre, frankly, it wasn't great. And then I just I got lazy. I didn't do one. Sorry. I was going to do a couple, but then my wife, she guilted me and things just happened. And so it was just but I was like, tonight, my commitment is to you, the viewer. Tonight, I am here for you and only you. You will have my undivided attention for the next hour, perhaps more. You never know what's going to happen. Let me just make sure the audio is working. It looks like it is. So let's hop into the game. Now, I was debating whether or not we should start a new game for a new year. But here's the thing. I'm leaving the country next week. So if we start a new game now, we're only going to be able to do it for the next couple of nights that I do a stream. So with that in mind, I didn't mean to do that. With that in mind, I think what we're going to do is we're going to continue on with we're going to continue on with the game that we were originally playing and just take it from there. Joe is in. He says, hello, sound is good. Thank you, Joe, for confirming that the sound is good. And if anybody is surprised that I'm live tonight, it is probably Joe who is surprised. Maybe he's not because, he expects me to do a show a live broadcast once every month or two. And probably that stretch in November and December where I was doing them consistently, that is what's unusual. It's not unusual for me not to do a live broadcast. It's unusual for me to do so many in a row. So this is not the city that we were working on. This is my private city, which I was playing for a little bit yesterday. But let's go and load the other one, which I think, it's been a while since I've looked at these. Now, there is this one here. Okay, wait a minute. I think that these that are saved in January this year are auto saves from when I was playing the city that we're on now. I think this question mark is the one. Is the question mark is that, or is it this one right here? Maybe it's this autosave 6, because I'm looking at the. Let's load it up and look at it. I feel like I'll recognize it as soon as I see it, but I'm not sure. If not, it must be the question mark one. But that one only had a population of 16,000, and I thought for sure we had reached higher than 16,000. Okay, this looks familiar right off the bat. I remember this section. This is our map. And I think that this probably is the latest one because we had added the metro, right? And then we were still seeing terrible traffic problems along here. Wow, look at that. That is, where does the traffic start? Where does it start to back up? It starts to back up right around here. I really wish there was a measuring tool. That would be, Joe, see if you can write that. I'm pretty sure that the plugin system supports PHP, but I would love to be able to right mouse click on a part or something, like right mouse click here and then right mouse click at another place and it tells me the distance. Kind of like how you do in Google Maps, right? Let's see. If I go to maps, that's not how you spell maps. Mapsgoogle.com. I can go down here to measure distance and I can just put, see how that, it allows me to drag this around to see how far the distance is. I really want something like that on here so I can see, so I can look at this backup and say, oh, wow, that's a 3 mile backup or whatever the case might be. All right. Okay. Now, I remember this. I do feel like we have kind of lost a little bit of progress. Let me look if I load the games. So that was the autosave from December 20th. And then, okay, so it had 22,000. Yeah, I think this is the latest version that we at least have. But I think what I'm going to do is I came down here. Maybe I should make this a 4-lane highway, at least on this section. So let's go ahead and take care of that. What do we got? We got 4-lane, wait, 4-lane two-way highway. Yes, that's what we want. Let's put that here. And then we're going to have an exit ramp that comes off like right about here. Like, let's put it up here, like so, like this, right? And then what that's going to do is that's going to allow people to easily continue on. So let's actually extend the 4-lane highway back a little bit. So let's do it over here and there. Why is it all wiggly woggly like that? Why? How can I fix this easily? No, I'm gonna have to tear it down. I'm gonna have to tear it down to fix it. Sometimes, in order to create beauty, you must first destroy. That is. I think George Washington said that. Okay, let's put this, and then let's go ahead and build here, and go right here. So yeah, we're jumping right back into the City Skylines. I gotta say, on my trip, I did miss playing it. I did. But then when I got home, took me, like, where I stream from, where I play this in. This is in like in a spare bedroom in my house, and it took me probably like a week after getting home before I even opened the door to this room. Like I thought, I would have like jumped right onto City Skylines immediately, but nope. It took me like a week before I was even turning on this computer. All right, so, okay, well, hopefully that traffic thing will fix itself. I'm hoping. Oh, man, this is just, oh, wow, look at that. Oh, golly. Golly. People trying to get, oh, wait, whoa. What is, no, I don't want people to be able to turn here. That's a highway, bro. You can't do that. Whoa. Okay, let's we got to fix that. We got to make sure people aren't turning here. No. How do I get, no, I want no turn. Okay, there we go. That's better. So people were actually coming, I guess people were coming off, they were exiting down here, and then they were turning left to get, I was getting ready to use a bad word. I was getting ready to use a word that'll get you canceled. It starts with an R. That's so ridiculous. That's the word I was going to use. Get your mind out of the gutter. All right. So cars are coming off here. Then this is weird. Okay, that's just a result of the bridge. Okay, so then. So it's actually kind of like 4 lane. Are these assholes parking here? It's parked. Why would you park there? Oh my God! Can I ticket them? Can I impound their vehicle? Because that's what I want to do. All right, no, but I can make this no parking. I think. I thought. Wait, let me see. Crosswalk, wide grass, a strip. Let's see, trees, lighting, and sound barrier. No, I don't want any of that. I want to prevent parking. Is what I want to do. And this is oh boy. No, all right, I'm just going to have to live with those people parking there. I don't think that the parking is actually causing any issues, but they're coming into here. Where is the issue here? So they're just coming into the town, and then they're kind of dispersing from there. Maybe we need another, what was it? Maybe we need another, like maybe we could, what would happen if, hear me out. What would happen if this highway verged off from here and came around and connected to this road, right? So what we could do, actually it doesn't even need to be a highway. It can be, all right. I got an idea. I'm going to build my oh man, but we can see how well we can see this work of beauty down here right, of this highway exit I built, we can see how well that's working out for everybody. And again, look how much of this traffic is taxis. Now I put a subway in here. What is this? This is that's just some commercial area. Where's my subway at? Let me see if I can find it. So let's see. Wait a minute. Subway, train, tram, subway. Where's the metro stop? Where is the train stop? No. Where's the train stop? Is the train not in here? Okay, there it is. Okay, it's going down. Okay, the train stop is somewhere. Okay, I think I see it. It's right here. So we have how many? Let's see. Let's look at the view details. So we have 459 passengers. The ticket price is, I mean, this is a pretty good transportation system, right? Like, it's free to use and it runs 24 hours a day with 7 active vehicles. Now, I can see down here, there is a ton of demand. People are just dying to move into this city. So I want to go back to my quest of slowly making areas that were like light residential into high density residential. Like these people right here, we're kicking them out. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, not sorry, you have to move. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the high density residential. We're going to deselect these. We're going to bulldoze, get them out of here, and now we are going to replace them with high density residential. And I think that's going to help. I think next maybe we'll do that along the water, because honestly, wouldn't you like a nice, beautiful, like high rise that's on the water with like a nice view? Like that's a pretty view, right? You got a view of the bridge right here. Does the bridge have a name? Can you name the bridge? I know you can name. Okay. Yeah, Hollybush Bridge. We'll call this Bridge of Broken Dreams. So, I mean, what better view would you want besides living right next to the Bridge of Broken Dreams that you can look at every day to be reminded of your broken dreams? Now, here's something interesting. The high-density residential buildings are vacant, even though we just had high-density residential demand. We just had demand for high-density residential. These are all low-density. I think we're going to go ahead and replace them. So again, we know the drill, right? We dezone. I was going to say decolonize. We're going to dezone. Sorry, I've been watching too many political podcasts lately. All right, so we're gonna decolonize those areas, and then we're going to do some mixed residential housing. No. I don't want mixed. I was going to say something that would sound really bad. I was going to say I don't like mixed. I don't like mixed housing is what I was going to say. Jesus Christ, people, calm down. And then, okay. So we still have this stupid farm. We might have to move this farm, right? We might have to, like, maybe we can move the farm over here. Or maybe we could put the farm. Can we put the farm? We could put a farm up here. Look at this. This is a nice little, mostly flat area. We could make that flat, but the problem is getting up there. I wonder if there's a road that can go up there, because I kind of want to relocate that farm. So let's do my favorite, which is a dirt road, of course, and then we would have a little dirt road that just kind of would snake around. Let's see. No. Okay. And we did it. Oh my God, we did it. We can get up there. So now what we can do is that we have this dirt road up here, right? So we just draw this straight at this point. And we'll come all the way over to our plateau. And then we have a little bit of a building area. And that, my friends, is where we will put our new farm. So we're going to have a new chicken farm, right? And we're going to... I still don't know what this sphere of influence is. I don't know what that represents. Okay, maybe because Joe called it a while back. He said that he thought it was how far out you can build the the farm. So maybe that is it. All right. So let's just bring this up with the road. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Wait, did that take? Did that save my sphere, my zone of influence? I don't think it did. Okay, wait a minute. We got to figure this out. How does this work again? But I don't want. I just want to. Okay, there. Okay, it didn't save, but I think we can fix this rather easily. Okay, there we go. Oh, come on, come on. Oh my God! It's telling me invalid shape. That's what one of my exes said when they saw me naked. Sorry, I couldn't resist. That was I thought that was a funny joke. Okay, here we're gonna come this down here. We're gonna keep building this like this. Okay, good. See, the farm is growing, right? We're gonna have. This isn't going to be just chickens. This is going to be mountain chickens. Have you ever met a mountain chicken? Let me tell you, a mountain chicken is a different type of species. It's not as much a chicken as it is a warrior. So we're gonna have a whole farm of mountain chickens. All right, so let's just get this. I'm just making that up. I don't know that I've ever met a mountain chicken in my life. Okay, now, so that's our farm. And it's going to be an oddly shaped farm, but that's okay. But that's going to allow us to come over here and delete this farm. So this farm, like, so long, like, love you, miss you. But now this frees all this real estate up, right? So let's go ahead and put some medium density residential in there. We're going to do small apartment buildings, I think is what we're going to do. Small apartment buildings. And that will give you a nice... Now, okay, I need to remember when I get demand for high density residential, I'm going to put that back here. Because the idea is that you'd have these small apartment buildings. Basically, I don't want anybody's view to the water to be obstructed. I want everybody to have a fair and equitable view of the water. Okay, so we still got this farm over here, but now we have this. Now we have Chicken Mountain Farm over here, and I like that. I appreciate Chicken Mountain Farm. Let's see. Can I bring this over here? Okay. Okay. Okay, good. And then can I do it over here? Nice. Okay. Okay, so Chicken Mountain Farm is up and running, and it's looking it's looking promising. I have lots of hope for Chicken Mountain Farm. And now you get to it in this little, and this will be called, not Bedford Lane, we'll call this Chicken Mountain Road. Oh, can you name mountains? Can you name mountains? Can I name this mountain? I don't think I can. What I can do, though, is I can create a district. I can do that, right? I can create a district around the whole mountain. I'm going to do that right now. Okay, don't want to... Okay. All right. I know it's getting really quiet here, but I am just really I'm really concentrating because I really want to make Chicken Mountain a thing. Okay. So I hope everybody had a good and wonderful Christmas. I hope everybody had a happy New Year or is having a happy New Year. I, of course, before my hiatus, went to Saint Pierre, Imeguelon. Did I just undo everything I did? No, I didn't. Okay, good. How do I select it? Okay, Chicken Mountain. So yeah, so I went to Saint Pierre. So again, if you missed my last show, or you've already forgotten, Saint Pierre is this little. Here it is. So here's Newfoundland. Well, first of all, in case you don't know, well, let me clear the measurement. This here is the United States. This most likely is where you are. And right now I'm only talking to Joe, so I know for a fact this is where Joe is. Now, up here, now to the north of the United States is this big country called Canada. And Canada, it's a big country. It's not as big as it looks on this map because this is is this a Mercator map? Mercator? Anyway, this is a 2-dimensional representation of a 3D object, and when you do that, things always get distorted. So anyway, but Canada, it's still a big country. It's still a big country. It's north of America, and you've got this province over here called Newfoundland, which I've been to before. I would like to explore more of Newfoundland. Newfoundland. They will correct you. It's Newfoundland. I would like to see more of Newfoundland, but there's this little tiny set of islands right here, and it's called Saint Pierre et Miquelon. Now, I had been saying Miquelon or Miguelon. I don't know why, because I don't speak French, and I just thought that's how it was pronounced, Miguelon. But it's actually Miquelon, which looking at it makes sense. Saint Pierre et Miquelon. Miquelon. So I spent 8 days here in the town of St. Pierre. And it was, got Nick Rudnev in the house. He says, not as big as Russia. No, Canada is not as big as Russia. But Canada has really large, never mind, I'm not going to make a joke. So I was here, and so this little province here, St. Pierre et Miquelon. I spent about 8 days in St. Pierre, and literally, you can drive the entire island in half a day. I had a car during the entire time I was there because I'm a princess, and that's just how I roll. But I did need a car because I was staying over here, like right over here. Timsoft, what was that? I didn't see Timsoft. What is Timsoft? This place may be closed. Interesting. Anyway, but I was staying, there's a house over here. Let's see. I think it's right on this road. Let's see if we can find my Airbnb. Right there. There it is. I recognize those slats or whatever you want to call them. This was where I was staying. And it's a little bit of a walk over here over here is the main downtown area. And it was surprisingly hilly. I don't know why that was such a surprise to me. Like, I was, for some reason, I think probably because I had just been looking at it on a map for so many years, I was like, well, of course it's flat. No, it doesn't have, but it's actually very hilly and some very steep hills as well. So let me tell you a little bit about St. Pierre. Oh my gosh, it's winter in my town. Okay. St. Pierre, as I already said, is very hilly. My first full day in St. Pierre was on a Sunday. And I already knew, because like when you go to these small island towns or these small, and I've been to a few nowadays, like the Faroe Islands was very reminiscent of this, even parts of Greenland. But on a Sunday, things are closed. Like you have a few things that are open, but most things are closed. And so anyway, I'm walking around looking for a grocery store on that Sunday, and it took me a while. I finally found a grocery store, but nothing was open. I mean, just like there was one grocery store open, and that was it. And this is when I was still staying at the hotel, because I originally checked into a hotel, which was right here, Hotel Robert. Hotel Robert. And you can see Hotel Robert is really close to the downtown area. But Hotel Robert, of course, was a hotel. It was not an Airbnb, which meant that I was staying in a room without a kitchen. And I really wanted to go grocery shopping. The hotel room, it just had like a little, it had like a little, it was a hotel room. It had a little refrigerator, and that was it. Like, what do you expect? It's a hotel room. Get a life. Wait, is this medium density? Yeah, that's medium. Is this low density? Yeah, that's low. We're going to replace this. So I decided that I wanted to stay in I wanted to stay at a place with a kitchen, and the only Airbnb that was available on the short notice and that looked even halfway decent was the one which I showed you, which actually ended up being quite a nice Airbnb, which I enjoyed very much. Thank you. However, it was a bit of a walk to downtown, so the car reservation that I had to pick up on that Thursday, I called and said, "Well, can I pick it up Can I pick it up today?" Which was like Monday. It was on Monday, and they're like, "Yeah, of course, yeah. You want to spend more money with us? Go right ahead." And so I did. I picked up the car, and that's what allowed me to stay at the Airbnb. Now, in Saint Pierre and Miquelon, and actually in a lot of like Latin American places, and even in some places in Europe, you still have like businesses shut down for lunch, right? Like at noon. Like in Bolivia, this is kind of prominent. It used to be more, but not so much anymore. But whoa, what is this? What is going on here? What is going on? Is this a backup with everybody trying to get in here? Oh my lord. Oh my stars and garters. What is that? My stars and garters. Anyway. What is happening? Well, wait a minute. Wait. Okay, there's an accident. Whoa, what is this? Wait, is this just a food truck or something? Like, why is everybody around this delivery van? Can I delete this guy? I want him to go away. Oh, Lord. Okay. So, the Monday I'm there, I got my rental car, I went and did some stuff, but I tried to go to the grocery store again. And I made the mistake of going to the grocery store at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, who would possibly want to buy groceries at 1 o'clock in the afternoon? That is absurd. The freaking grocery store shut down every day that it was open from 12 to 2:30. 12? No, I'm sorry. The grocery store was 1:30. From 12 to 1:30? No, closed. Sorry, we've gone home. We've gone home to take a nap. All right. Well, let me go to the There was a pizza place. This pizza, where is it? It was over here somewhere. Here, yeah, Pizzeria Chez Arlon. And let me make sure this is the correct way. Yep, that's it, Chez Arlon. I'm like, oh, I can't go to the grocery store because it's closed. Well, surely I can get pizza for lunch. So I drive on over to Pizzeria Chez Arlon. Pizzeria Chez Arlon. I was hoping maybe you could see it. It's closed it opens at 10:30, it closes at 12, and then it doesn't open until 6:30. It opens for dinner at 6:30. And this was just like everywhere. Everywhere in town was just shut down. Just the whole city just shuts down. Every gosh darn freaking day from 12 to like 2. 12 to 3. 12, like everything just shut down. Like you know, oh no, you want to eat? Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, good luck with that. No, you're not. You're not getting food. So I will tell you one story. So I think it was like that Monday or Tuesday. I was driving around. I was looking for something to eat, and so I found this place over here, which is, where is it? Checho Cafe Checho. Where is it? Why can't I find? Oh, here it is. Chez Checho. Well, this was listed as a place that was actually open, right? Now, this should have been a hint. See here how it says it closes at 2 a.m.? Well, I had to tell you what kind of establishment this is. So I look on the map and I see that Chez Checho is actually open. Oh, good, I say. Oh, that's great. I can get some food at Chez Checho. So I walk in, I go into Chez Checho, and it's immediately apparent. Oh, this is a dive bar. But it's listed. It was listed in Google as a place to eat. Look, it has. Well, no, when I saw it, it had a little food thing, but it's listed as a place to eat. So I go into Chez Checho, and I ask here everybody speaks French. So I'm like, parlez-vous anglais? Do you speak French? Or no, parlez-vous anglais? Do you speak English? And the owner's like, no. But he points to one of the two guys that's sitting behind the bar. And And I guess one of the guys there, he was from Saint Pierre, but he spoke French. Okay. So I asked him, I'm like, can I order some takeout? Do you have any, like, do they have a menu or anything? And he's like, oh no, this is a bar. It's not a restaurant. And I'm like, oh. And he's like, yeah. And then I'm like, well, I was like, is there anything that you can think of that's open? Because I'm trying to get some lunch and there's nothing open. And he's like, oh no, at this time you're not going to find anything that's open. The whole town shuts down. And I'm like, great. Well, the bartender, he says something to the guy I'm talking to. They speak in French. And then I find out that the bartender asked him what I was saying. And then the guy tells him that I was looking for food. And the bartender says something. He walks back to the kitchen. And then the guy I'm talking to, he says, oh, just wait here. He's going to bring you something to eat. I'm like, what? And I guess what happens is like every day, like the staff of the bar and like his friends, they cook a meal and then they eat and they drink and they basically have drinks and lunch together most days. And he had some leftovers from that day's lunch and that they were going to bring me. I'm like, oh, okay. So I was seated at the bar and I start talking to these guys, and the bartender, he brings me a plate of like pork and shrimp with some bread and some brie and some water, and I'm like, okay, it's not bad. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like chilling out, like talking to them, and like they're like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from the U.S. I'm traveling around making YouTube videos, blah blah blah, and so anyway, so we talk, and this is where the guy, he tells me how, like, yes, like the town literally shuts down from like at noon every day. It just shuts down. That's kind of what it does. And he says it's because people are going home to get drunk. And I'm like, oh. And he's like, yeah, you've come to an island of alcoholics. He's like, everybody here drinks like all day, every day. And I'm like, okay. All right. So what am I trying to bulldoze here? Is this? Oh, it's a basketball park. I'm like, oh, okay, well, huh. And so I finished my meal, and then like at the same time that I finished my meal, they're like finishing up, because I guess they were just, the bartender, he took at least 4 shots of something while I was there. It looked like maybe it was cognac or something like that. But he's just he's just pouring down the shots like a Russian, and it doesn't even seem fazed by it. So I when we're parting ways, I'm like, I pull out like €20, and I'm like, here you go. And he's like, no. And I'm like, come on, I gotta pay you something. He's like, no. Oh, I forgot to mention that it turned out that the bartender was from Spain, so he spoke Spanish. So it was pretty neat because I'm talking to him in Spanish. Then the other people behind the bar are talking to the bartender in French, and I'm talking to the people behind the bar in English. And so you have all these like 3 languages going back and forth. But then I try giving money to the owner, and he refused. And he said, just come back and drink and you can pay me then. And of course, I never went back to drink, so I felt a little guilty about that. But but that was probably one of the highlights of the trip. Just that that hospitality of just like, oh, this person is hungry, let me just make him some food, and let me just give him some food. Out of the kindness of being a human, from one human to another human that is hungry. Here, have some food, and I really liked that. And it wasn't so. I just liked that. I liked it. I liked being in a place because most places here in the States, you're not going to get that kind of hospitality. You will in some places, you will, and but I don't know if I want to say most, because how do you qualify most? Are you talking about like most by population, by area, by like but I would say, I guess the way I would put it is you have a greater chance of not finding that here than you do. Although I do think you would. I do think there are places in here in the States that where you would find some kind of experience like that. But I think it's not nearly as common here as it would be there in or like in other places. But I don't know. That really kind of sold me on the place. Like when I go to these places, when I do this traveling, I like thinking in terms of like, is this a place I could live? Is this a place where I could see myself moving to? Not that I'm going to, just that could I see myself living here? And St. Pierre really was a place like that. Joe says, okay, so Nick says now Mao. I don't know what that means exactly. And there's Berto Prey saying that you should have left a tip. Yeah, no, they probably wouldn't even know what to do with it. They don't believe in tips there, which is another reason I could live there happily. Happily, Joe. I know Joe likes to tip everybody. Yeah, hey Joe, if you want to tip, why don't you click that little that super chat button right there? Just click that super chat button, right? Yeah, all right, buddy. But no, it was like could I live in Saint Pierre? And I think I could. The weather was nice. Of course I like it cold. That's no secret that I like it cold. And it was chilly. It wasn't like freezing, but it was cold. Very pretty, and some of it was extremely picturesque and very beautiful. I feel like having been to the Faroe Islands, nothing will quite live up to that. So I feel kind of jaded that yeah, no, sorry, it's just nothing was ever going to compare to the Faroe Islands. But it doesn't mean you still can't find beautiful places, and Saint Pierre definitely was a beautiful place. Now, if you look on the map, I'm talking mostly about this island of Saint Pierre, and here, if to the north, you have this huge island here, which is Miquelon, right? And then the second largest city is this little tiny town called Miquelon. Now, there's two ways to get from Saint Pierre to Miquelon. We got a super chat from Joe. He says, "A tip for my favorite YouTube travel blogger." Thanks, Joe. I'm gonna heart that. I'm gonna heart that. And wait, no, I don't want to report it. I'm gonna heart it. Can I pin it? Let me pin it. And put this user in a timeout. Hide this user. And I don't think I can pin it. But so anyway, this island here, Miquelon, and just let the record stand that when I tip Joe, like when I super chat Joe, it's normally always at least $5. This is the second super chat Joe has ever given me, and both of them were $2. Let's just see. Yeah, let's talk about tips there. See who's the bigger tipper. I was going to say see who has the biggest tip. All right, but so there's two ways to get from Saint Pierre to Miquelon, right? You can either take a ferry, which is about an hour and a half long, or you can take a flight, which is literally like a 10-minute flight. It's like a 10-15-minute flight. So I was leaving Saint Pierre on a Sunday, and I was planning already to go to Miquelon that Saturday. And that Saturday when I went to Miquelon, or when I was planning to go to Miquelon, there was a huge goddamn windstorm. And I say this because it was in 2022 when I went to Iceland that a goddamn windstorm trapped my wife and I in a hotel in rural Iceland for like 3 or 4 days. And Nick says, sell, sell, sell. And I'm not sure exactly what he's referring to there, but I agree. But so there's like this windstorm, right? So I go to the airport ready to catch I think it was like a 10:30 flight. And it's a little tiny airport. Literally, you arrive 15 minutes before you need to get on the plane, especially for a quote-unquote domestic flight like this. And so I get there, I get to the airport, and I can see outside it's windy. And so I asked the guy working there, this like younger French guy. I asked him, I'm like, is the flight canceled? And he's like, no, because it had been canceled like a day before or something like that. And he's like, no, it's not canceled. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, and I was like, in your personal experience, because here's the thing. it would have been quite possible that I take a flight from Saint Pierre to Miquelon, and then the flight back later that day gets canceled. And so I ask him, like, in your experience, do you think the flight will be canceled on the way back? And he's like, I really can't say. I don't know. And I'm like, okay, but if it does get canceled, I can still take the ferry back, right? And he says, well, as long as it's not canceled. So I guess the ferry getting canceled was also a possibility. So considering that this was on Saturday and I was planning to leave the following day, the next day on that Sunday, I opted not to go to Miquelon. And so I got this. Let me make sure. Oh wait, let me get the live thing there. Whoa. So I got this tattoo right here, and it says Saint Pierre, and then on the bottom it says Miquelon. And that's a puffin, right? It's a little puffin. And I got this from the only tattoo artist on the island. There's one guy who does tattoos on the island of St. Pierre. LDG Free the Net says, hello, with a $2 super chat. Hey, you. Thank you, LDG. Thank you for the super chat. So there's one guy on St. Pierre that does a tattoo, and he did the tattoo. So anyway, so I opted not to go to Miquelon, but the whole time I'm thinking, like, God damn it. I've got this tattoo that says Saint Pierre y Miquelon. I don't know if it says or and, but it says Miquelon on it. The point is it says Miquelon. And I'm just like, mother frickin' forever. I now have a tattoo that is a lie, right? Like this tattoo, if you look at this tattoo, any normal person is going to think that I've been to Saint Pierre and Miquelon. And I've only been to Saint Pierre. So so because of that, I have to go back. Like I literally have to go back, and I have to go to Miquelon. And Miquelon's like the city is much smaller than Saint Pierre. It's tiny. I think there's maybe 3,000 people in Saint Pierre compared to a couple hundred here in Miquelon. But but the island you can see is much bigger, and supposedly it's much more pretty. It's much prettier. So at some point I have to go back. But I got to tell you that I really, really liked St. Pierre. I really liked practicing / learning French, right? Like I spent a good portion of my adulthood becoming fluent in Spanish and learning all of that Spanish. Like a lot of what you learn is applicable to French. You know, they're related languages, so obviously it's going to be applicable. And also, I really think, and Nick can probably attest to this, and maybe LDG Free to the Net. I don't know how many languages that person speaks, but when you learn a second language, I think it's probably easier to learn a third language, because when you learn a second language, you're not just learning that language, you're learning how to learn a language. And I think this is something I've talked about before on here, because you're learning like the things that you remember, the things you learned first in the new language, and the things you learn first are generally the things that you use most often. Like I want, I go, I do, I eat, sleep, take, give, get. Like you get a sense of like these verbs, especially verbs that you use most often, and then you kind of pick up nouns here and there and adjectives here and there, and then but I could feel myself doing that with French. Like, I mean, because you interact with people all the time. Avez-vous écouté? No, okay, merci beaucoup. You know, like you're interacting with people in French all the time, and I like languages. I like learning different languages. So I really liked Saint Pierre for a few reasons. The weather was very amenable to what I like. They all spoke French. I've always had good experiences in French-speaking territories other than France. And it was close to North America. So it's like, I mean, it's in North America, but it was close to home. It's close to like my family and things like that. So when I'm evaluating these places of like, could I see myself theoretically living here? You got to think of like the practical. you got to think like, well, if I lived here and I needed to get home for like some emergency, God forbid something happened, and I need to get home for some reason. Well, Saint Pierre, it literally was like a 5 hour plane ride all combined. Like minus the 6 hour layover, but like I was literally in the air for maybe 4 to 5 hours, so it's not that far. But Saint Pierre was pretty cool. I mean, I recommend Saint Pierre. Again, can't talk about Miquelon because I haven't been there yet. But Saint Pierre, it was really cool. I was staying over here. Over in this part of the island, there are some roads that go to that part of the island. It was very, very pretty. There's a like a radio tower over here. I think it's over here. That was absolutely terrifying to drive up. Yeah, this is it. Oh wait, is that it? Maybe it's over. Maybe it's over here. Or wait, is this it? This is it. This is it. I think that's it. But whatever. I mean, just like there's this hill that you got to go up. It's like right over here, and yeah, this was like some kind of factory. And this hill, these images don't do it justice, but they were some steep freaking hills in this place. And like, I mean, if it gets cold there and those roads start to freeze over or anything like that, I don't know how in the world you're getting up or down those hills safely. You're going to go right into the water. This island here, this Ile Marin, this is really weird because so people don't live there. It's more like a summer place, but you could see it from everywhere in town. You could see this island, but there was like no lights on at night, which whatever, you can't see it anyway. But there's like a church and there's some houses and everything, but there were no people. It was like this, just like this dead island. And I did ask like if you could go over there, but they said only in the summer because there's nothing there in the winter. Like there's nobody there, nothing's open, there's nothing to do. So not much to see there. And then you have a couple of other random islands. But yeah, it was St. Pierre was pretty cool, and I think, like I said, trying to answer the question of whether or not I could live there, I think I definitely could. I definitely think I could. And then, let me talk a little bit about where I went after that. Oh, God. What a cluster. What a cluster. So, I like I said, I was in St. Pierre for like 8 days. And then I go to St. John's over here, the capital of Newfoundland. Now, like I definitely know I've said this before, but lots of Americans, they like to say Newfoundland, right? Newfoundland. It's not Newfoundland. It is Newfoundland. They pronounce it strictly how it's spelled. Newfoundland. Like, and it makes sense, Newfoundland. Newfoundland. Well, I take a 3-hour plane. No, I'm sorry. No, it was like an hour and a half. It was like an hour and a half plane ride from St. Pierre as the crow flies to St. John's. So we can see here's 169 miles. It was about an hour, hour and a half. It was a small plane. Get to St. Pierre, you land. I was disappointed there was no snow. There's more snow on this map than there was in St. John's when I was there. Excuse me. So I land, and I go through, get my passport stamped. I was very happy because in St. Pierre they stamped my passport. That was pretty cool. So I have a St. Pierre stamp on my passport. I think that's pretty neat. So then they stamp my passport in Canada, and I go to the turnstile waiting for my bags. And my bags come. And because normally the way it works, I don't know, Nick probably knows, but when you arrive at these new places, you get your passport stamped first, then you get your luggage, and then you go through customs, right? And that's where you're like, I have nothing to declare, I have something to declare, whatever. And then after you clear customs, that's when you're legally in the country, or technically, or however you want to word it. So I grab my bags at the turnstile in St. John's, Newfoundland, to go through customs. And as I go and I hand them like this piece of paper you have to fill out, and then like my passport, The woman takes it, she looks at it, and then there's this guy behind her. He's like, "Oh no, I'll take him over here." I'm like, "Okay, all right." And this is like this huge dude. This guy's like 6'3", and he's like, he's got muscles bursting out of his shirt, and I'm just like, this guy could be like an MMA fighter or something. He was scary, but he's Canadian, so it's like, how scary can a Canadian really be? Well, this MFer was pretty intimidating. So he's looking at my passport, and he's giving me the third degree. So, it's very weird to see, an American passport coming from St. Pierre. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you want me to do about it? I didn't say that, but that's what I'm thinking. What do you want me to do about it? Well, why St. Pierre? And literally my response, I do remember this. My response literally was, why not? Why not? But it's just very weird. How do you even, he literally says, most Canadians don't even know about St. Pierre. So, how do you know about St. Pierre? And I was like, I don't know. I like maps, and I just saw it on a map many years ago. I don't know when, but I've always wanted to go. But, it's, so what kind of, and he's like, what kind of work do you do? Are you married? What's your purpose in St. Pierre? And I explained to him, yes, I work, I'm an engineer, and yes, I'm married, and and then he's like, so he's asking me about my work schedule, and I'm like, well, because I know because I tell him I travel a lot, and he's like, well, why do you travel so much? And I felt like saying because I can. Well, I did say because I can. But I said I'm traveling now while I am fortunate enough to have the health and the means to do so. So I want to take advantage of that because that will not always be the case. And he's asking me, my wife ever comes traveling with me? And I'm like, yeah, she does sometimes, and what kind of work does my wife do? And I also mentioned I'm doing, I do YouTube, and then I make YouTube videos for my travels. And he's just literally just giving me the third frickin' degree about coming into Canada. And I felt like saying I'll go home. I already did the part of the trip I really wanted to do. St. Pierre was really why I was there. St. John was just kind of an aperitif. Or no, wait, is aperitif is before? No, wait, aperitif? Is that after? Or I can't remember. But he's giving me the third degree, and I'm just dude, if you want, I'll just change my ticket to go home now. I don't have to come in. I don't have to come into your country and give you my money. I'm literally coming into your country to put more dollars into your economy. But if you don't want me to, I can go. I'm happy to go home. But the thing is this has happened just about every time I have gone into Canada. I've gone into Canada maybe a dozen times. Right? I'm trying to think of how many times I've gone through border control in Canada. And whether it be in an airport or on the road, I've never done it on a boat or a train, but it's either always been an airport or in a car. And every time I do it, it's the third frickin' degree. And they're just Jesus Christ, they make you feel like a criminal. Just breathing, oh my God, and it's always why Canada? Why are you coming to Canada? And I felt like saying yeah, you're right. It's a pretty shitty place. Why am I coming here? But I'm not going to say that. And the fact that I just said it now, I'll probably get barred from the country, knowing how things work nowadays. But it's such a terrible way to start a trip in a new country when you're getting just the third degree on why do you want to come to this country? Why would you ever want to come to Canada? Oh my God, just let me in. I'm coming. I get it. They want to make sure that you're not a terrorist and blah blah blah, but maybe sometimes profiling deserves its place. I don't know. No, whatever. They're free to do what they want to do. But it's just, but the experience in Canada all around was just disappointing because I went to St. John's, which is over here, St. John's, Canada. I went to St. John's in 2018. I was there for a week. Now, I what I'm about to say, I am going to say with I want it to be known, or I need to express the caveat that in 2018 when I went to St. John's, I wouldn't say I was an alcoholic, but I was probably a little bit of an alcoholic, or I was drinking a lot. And it's not like I was drinking during the day, but I certainly was drinking every night. And I was certainly probably drinking till I got drunk every night. Maybe not every night, but most nights. Most nights I was drunk. I was drunk more nights than I wasn't back then. Nowadays, like I had a drink yesterday at my chess tournament, which I'll talk about soon. But I had one drink and I was like, oh my God, I'm wasted. But anyway, so nowadays I barely drink. I barely drink. But the point of all of that is that when I was in St. John's in 2018, I have memories of St. John's, of downtown St. John's being a very nice place, of feeling safe and clean, and just being a nice, humble, stereotypical Canadian where everybody's polite. Just a very stereotypical place to visit. My trip in 2013 or 23, last year, a month ago, not even. Complete opposite. St. John's has turned into a dump. It is horrible. I went on a walk at night. Now, I say at night because it was dark. All right? If it's dark, it's at night. However, it gets dark very early this time of year, and it gets dark even earlier in Canada, right? So it was 6 p.m. 6 p.m. I walk. I'm going on a walk in downtown St. John's. I was asked for change no less than 10 times in my roughly 45-minute walk. No less than 10 times. Excuse me, sir, you got change? Sir, you got any change? Hi, can I bug you for some change? Hey, could you spare a little change? It was like the goddamn South Park episode with the homeless people taking over like zombies. It literally was. And then you get to a point, right, where you're asked for change so much that you start to ignore them. You start to ignore the people because you can only say no so many times before you're just like, stop asking me, leave me alone. I'm just trying to walk down the road. And this woman, she asks me for change, and I ignored her. I just kept walking, and I had headphones in, right? But if I'm walking, especially if I don't feel comfortable. Well, if I don't feel comfortable, I won't have headphones in at all. If I feel somewhat comfortable and not completely comfortable, I'll have like one headphone in and one not. And so I had one headphone in, listening to music, and then the other ear was open. And so I hear some guy go to the woman who I just ignored, and they said something. I think he probably asked her something to the extent of, what happened? And she probably said something to the extent, he just completely ignored me. Talking about me. And then so the guy, he starts asking, sir, hello, sir, and I just keep, fucking asshole. Well, hello, welcome to St. John's. That was day one. Day two, now it might have been day three. I don't remember if it was day 2 or day 3. I was there for 5 days. Day 2 or 3, I'm walking downtown again. Sir, you got any change? Excuse me, can I have some change? Could you spare a little bit of change? Could you help me out with some change? Just like constant people just asking for change. And in St. John's, there's this little, let me clear the measurement and I'll show you what I'm talking about. There's this little like alleyway that has some bars, and it's right. So I was staying, where was I staying? I was staying somewhere, let's see, Water Street. I was on Duckworth. I don't remember Duckworth and what. I don't remember. I think it was over here. No. I don't remember the name of it. I would remember it if I saw it, but I don't see it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I want to find it. Somewhere around here. Where did that subway go? I just saw the subway. Well, anyway, I won't bore you with that. But there's like it. Okay, now it's gonna bug me because there's a part of there's some stairs. Okay, here's the subway that's on Water Street. So Prescott. It must be like right here. No, that's not it. Anyway, but the point is that on this Water Street right here, there's this little part that it must be around here, that is like a alley. It's more or less like an alley, and it has some like restaurants or something on it. Where in the world is it? Where did it go? Okay, I gotta find it. It's a mission now. If I start out on Water Street, I'll be okay. I'll be able to find it if we start out on Water Street. So let's find that subway again. Here's the subway. Right. Oh, and then something happened at the subway too, because I did end up going to the subway. So, oh, here's the church. Okay, here's the church. Okay, yeah. So it's down here, and then you're going to come up to like a big sign on the right-hand side, a big sign of a bar, a couple blocks down. Where is it? Don't make a liar out of me. Okay, yep, nope, we're on the right track. I know where we're at. Going to come up. There's going to be like a big, there it is, right here, Yellow Belly. So up here, and there's going to be stairs right here. There's stairs. This is the alley I'm talking about. This right here, right? You can see like this main road here. There's the water down there, and then there's this alleyway. I am walking through this because and I feel perfectly safe, right? Because there's like a bunch of restaurants and there's people and stuff, whatever. But here it is, right here. This alley right here. See this one-way marker? It's this. So I come up this street right here, which is what? It doesn't have a name. Thank you, Google. I come up here and I take a right, and I'm walking back because I'm walking back home, which is somewhere over here. And so I'm walking through the alley, and like right about here, a little bit past this intersection here, this guy asks me for change. This is not the first night. This is like the second or third night. This guy asks me for change. And I'm just like, no. He's like, sir, I could really use some change. I'm walking. And he's walking behind me. Sir, but you know, I'm really hungry. If you could just help me out. You know, sir, I'd really appreciate it. And he just keeps fucking following me. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, these people are getting aggressive. And this was like some young 20-something-year-old dude with long hair and a beard and whatever. And like, what is happening? Sir, could you just, I could just use some change. And like right here, these are stairs right here. And then literally Henry Street, that's where I was staying. Here's the condominiums right here that my Airbnb was in. But I get to the stairs and I walk up the stairs and he starts walking up the stairs to follow me. And I'm like, why is he targeting me? Do I have a sign on my face that just says American or ask me for change? Like, what is going on? But luckily he just like got to the top of the stairs and was like, sir, please help me out. And I just kept walking and then he just went away. That was the third night. My second to last night in St. John's. This didn't even happen at nighttime. This was during the day. During the day, I did a little bit of walking around. And so I got confused. There's this subway here, which I didn't know about. But then if the stairs are here, there's another subway down here. Where is it? There's a subway. It's on a corner, like right there. There it is, right there. Yep, subway. I go to this subway. Let me pull up the intersection. I go to this subway right here, and then there's a corner store right here. Right, so I need to get sodas and stuff like that. And so I say, okay, I'm going to go to the subway, and then I'm going to go to this store. And then I'm going to take my sodas and my Subway meatball sub home. And I'm going to eat at home. Because Lord knows at this point, I do not want to be out in public in St. John's. So I get my Subway. I come and I'm standing right here. Now, mind you, there are homeless people in front of the subway. There's homeless people over here in front of the Mark. There's homeless people over here. There's homeless people everywhere. Everywhere. And this one guy, this one guy, I come out of the subway, and this was on the 21st, 22nd of December. So it's a few days before Christmas. And this guy, he's standing in front of the door, and obviously homeless guy. And I walk out of the door, and he extends his hand to me like he wants to shake my hand. I don't, and this isn't because he's homeless. I don't want to touch random strangers' hands. Like I don't even maybe COVID jaded me or whatever, but like I don't want to shake anybody's hands. I don't even like shaking hands like in a business setting or anything like that. Like I will, but I would rather not. So I don't want to. I have no reason to shake this random dude's hand. And so he puts his hand out toward me, like, sir, like Merry Christmas or whatever he says, and I'm like, no, thank you, no, thank you. And I'm waiting here to cross the street because there's traffic going by on this street, and he's like, you don't want to shake my hand, and I'm like, no, thank you. He's like, well, you don't have to be ignorant about it. Like, why you want to be ignorant about it? That's just ignorant. And I'm like, okay, thank you. It's like, okay, yeah, well, thanks, ignorant. This is what St. John's has become. It is just, or at least the downtown version, it is plagued with just aggressive, homeless people asking for change. And I was talking to a taxi cab driver on the way to the airport, like the following day, when I was going home. And I was telling him about my experience, how like when I went in 2018, how I left St. John's in 2018 with like with very fond memories of it, like just like very like, this is a very nice, wholesome, safe, seemingly safe place. And then how like now it just seemed like it had just done a complete opposite turn. Taken a complete opposite turn. And the cab driver tells me that I was absolutely right. That in the past 4 to 5 years, that where I was, which is called Water Street, which is the downtown area, and you'll see this is named Water Street right here, saying that Water Street has completely just, these are my words, not his, because he's Canadian. They don't use words like this, but has just completely gone to shit. Just completely. And he was telling me about how it's all drugs. And I'm not saying anything about like, I'm not speaking one way or another about drug policy. I am not expressing any opinion. But he was just saying that it seemed like there were a lot of drugs in downtown St. John's, and that it was causing issues and breeding homelessness, essentially. And that there was a part of St. John's where people just don't go anymore, which is not that far from downtown, which is called, appropriately enough, Tent City. And this is kind of what you hear about in general. Like you hear about that, like you hear about tent cities and like DC. Washington, D.C. has Tent City. In parts of Washington, D.C., there is Tent City. And so it makes sense that, like, yeah, there's Tent City in St. John's, and, like, it's breeding that type of atmosphere, I guess. I don't know, but it was such a disappointment. That part of the trip was such a disappointment. Because, like I said, I had very fond memories of St. John's when I went in 2018, and now it is just a complete dump. It was just a complete dump. And as an American, you always like hear about like how Canada is like so safe and they're all so polite, and Canadians are so ha ha. Look at the polite Canadian. You can insult the polite Canadian. They don't even get angry. They don't even say anything. And there definitely were still some Canadians like that. I did see some, talk to some Canadians that definitely fit that stereotype, but oh my lord, what is that saying? Stars and garters, my stars and garters. Joe, what is that saying? Is it stars and garter? Oh my stars and garter. I don't remember, but oh my lord, has it St. John's was such. Oh my lord, oh my lord. It was so disappointing. It was so utterly disappointing, and like I was talking to my mother one night when I was there, like talking to her on FaceTime, and it was like 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and I was like, I really kind of want to go out for something to eat because I'm kind of hungry, but I am instead going to make do with what food I have here in the Airbnb because I do not want to go out. I didn't want to go out because it was like I don't know what's going to happen. Get beat up, get mugged, somebody like I don't give the right person change, and then I'm like, oh, and then the funny thing is I was talking to somebody. I was telling a Canadian. I was telling a Canadian about the how I got called an effing a-hole for ignoring the one person, and the Canadian I'm talking to defends the homeless person. Well, nobody likes being ignored. I mean, don't you think that was a little rude to ignore them? Oh my god! Oh my god! Like, oh wow! I just don't understand it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to turn this into like a political live stream and talk about politics, but oh my god, I was amazed. I was amazed by how far down Canada had gone. It had just turned into utter trash. Maybe not Canada. It might be a little harsh to say Canada had turned into utter trash, but the St. John's. Oh god, like 2018, I would have probably said, oh yeah, no, you should definitely go to St. John's. It's so nice and pretty, and yeah, no, you should definitely check it out. I love St. John's. No, don't, just don't. It was terrible. I will say, well, I can't say this yet because I will go back to Canada. And I am planning to go up. There's a town, Kukiak. I don't know how to pronounce it. So probably next fall, I want to go to far north Quebec, up here. Where is it? Kuujjuaq, right here. I know we'll try and put it centered. I don't know why. Ugh. Kojak. We're gonna call it Kojak until I learn how to pronounce it. Kojak. So this town is like a hub. You catch a flight from either Montreal or Toronto or Ottawa. You can catch a direct flight here to Kuujjuaq, and then from Kuujjuaq, that's kind of like a jumping point to all these other small communities here in northern Quebec, which from what I've been reading is a mixture of Inuit and French Canadian people. So that's a pretty neat mix. So I definitely want to see parts of northern Quebec. I think I would enjoy that because it's two things I like, which is French and cold. So stay tuned because I will be heading to Kuujjuaq probably in September, October, November timeframe. Unless I go back to Greenland. But no, I think I'm going to go back to Greenland next year for Christmas. But I can tell you I will not be going back to St. John's. At least not anytime in the near future. It was just, it was awful. Okay, so that's a recap of my traveling. I have been kind of ignoring the city. I don't know what to do. What were we doing? I see that we have some high density residential demand, so I was kind of looking over here trying to figure out what would make sense. Like what about these guys? Yeah, I think. Wait, that's okay. That's all offices. Let's actually rezone those to high density offices. So let's do that. And then I think what we'll do is we'll make... Okay, these are definitely... No, but I don't want to make the ones right next to the water. We'll make these... Yeah, let's make these... Let's get rid of these and make these high density residential. So we got this. Let's bulldoze them all. So long, suckers. I'm evicting you from your house. You've got exactly 10 minutes to grab all your stuff and get the frack out. All right, let's do that. And then go select the high density residential icon, and then we'll build some high density residential buildings. That should be sufficient. And even that's not going to be sufficient. Jeez Louise. Stars and garters. Joe, what is it? Is it stars and garters? Stars and garters. Right, is it stars and garters? Is it stars and garters? Like golly, my stars and garters, or whatever it is. No. Am I the only one that's heard this? Stars and garters? I'm not sure. All right, so let's so hopefully that dense resident. See, okay. They're building. If you zone it, they will build it, and then they will come. All right. Okay, so we got lots of this is medium density. We're really kind of running out of low density areas, right? Like I guess down here in Joe's Swifty Village, because Joe being the big Taylor Swift fan that he is, wanted to name this village after his favorite pop star. You've never heard stars and garters. Maybe it's a southern thing. All right, and then Kanye South definitely has some this is definitely all low density residential. That's right. I was thinking about moving this, the Tower of Despair. We could put the Tower of Despair. Oh, it needs a road. We could put it by. Oh, maybe we could put. Could we get a road from Chicken Farm up to the top of Chicken Mountain? Oh, that'd be great to have it. Let's see if we can get that. Let's see if we can do this. All right, let's go over here. Oh, no, we need our curvy tool. Oh, boy. Come on. No. You gotta fight with this. You gotta fight. For your right to party. Okay, I think I see a path. No? Oh, jeez. Golly. Why is it so hard to build a road up a mountain? Okay, can we come over here? Circle back. Remember, it gets quiet when I'm concentrating. I'm doing this for you, fam. I'm doing this for you, the audience. Okay, wait. Oh, come on, we're so close. There we go. And all this to get... See, I'm putting it near the name because I'm pretty sure the algorithm is putting that label at the closest spot that it calculates as the center of the district. So we're going to move the pit, or not the Pit of Despair, the Tower of Despair. Let's move it. Okay, yes, we're going to relocate it. Where is the power, or the Chicken Mountain? All right. Perfect. Look at that. Now, one thing that I was going to say, one thing that I don't know that we have actually established is, I think we have, was radio towers. I think we're actually doing pretty okay on radio towers. What if I put, I want to make sure, if you go to the Tower of Despair on top of Chicken Mountain, wouldn't you want to make sure that you have a cell phone signal? I would. We'll put that there, and we're going to have to give people an opportunity, a place to buy some souvenirs. If you go to the Tower of Despair, what would be better? Tell me something better than being able to buy a little miniature Tower of Despair at a nice little, gift shop, right? You would want. And why not even put a little dog park, right? We put a dog park up there. Because if you're going to go up there, you might bring your dog. So let's actually, before we put the dog park, let's put a parking lot. Just a small parking lot. No, let's go to the medium parking lot. And then now what we'll do is we'll put the dog park right next to the parking lot because dogs deserve parks. There we go. All right. So let's see. So we got the dog park. We've got the gift shops being built. We've got our nice radio tower you can visit. And this is all next to the Tower of Despair, which is at like the highest point in our city. I think that's beautiful. You can see it from a distance, right? Like even down here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Joe's Swifty Village. I'm going to give it one high density residential block, like right, maybe here. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'll dezone all of that. Let me tear it all down. And then I'm going to just take a subsection of that. Let me do this. And make that high density residential. And then the rest of it will be medium residential. Oh. Perfect. I mean, it really does amaze me sometimes how good I am at this game. Like, and I'm just a natural. Like, I literally, like, since the first night I played this game, it has just come completely naturally to me. And it's such a good game. Like, if you're not able to play this game on your 10-year-old computer, I feel sorry for you. It's a great game. All right. What time is it? 8:30. Ugh. What was that one guy that used to always join my streams? I wonder if he gave up because I haven't streamed in a while. Forget his name. He was always like the first one to say hello, even before Joe. What was his name? For some reason, I think he lived in Texas. I don't remember his name. I was hoping to see him. I don't know where he's at. What do we got? We got a fire going on here? Oh my lord. What is happening? My stars and garters. Why didn't I connect these? Should I just connect these? I don't see any reason not to. What if that alleviates some traffic? Let's, you know what we could do? We could connect them with just a one-way. Oh wait, we can't because this is a shoulderless. Let's just do it. Whoa! I don't know what that was. Something downstairs fell. Hopefully everybody's okay. I'll go check after the stream. You see what kind of dedication that is to you, my audience. I just heard a scary noise. There could be like dead people downstairs, but I'm here for you. All right, let's see. So this is what I wanted. I wanted a tower, right? So that if you're in Joe's Swifty Village and you're like on the high rise, right? No. You could. Oh, the cat went down. You could see. Look at that in the distance. Look at how beautiful that is. The Tower of Despair all the way in the distance with its needle pointing up to the sky of despair. Look at it. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay. All right. So the demand for dense residential is coming back a little stronger. So I kind of want to get the things in the middle being dense residential. What does this mean? Air pollution. Oh, you hippies. Oh, my lord. Okay, well, if you're going to complain about air pollution because the air's too polluted, I can't breathe. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to replace your homes with offices. Take that, you hippies. All right, put that there. There we go. Perfect. All right. How do you fix the air pollution problem? You get rid of the people complaining. That's how you do it. All right. I mean, okay, let's see. I was going to make a joke about like, oh, that's how the Clintons solve all their problems. Ha ha ha. All right, let's go down here. I want to put dense residential in here. Okay, gonna do that. Gonna do that. All right. I was going to talk about my. I was thinking about talking about my chess tournament, but now I'm wondering if maybe I should just save that for Wednesday. What happened? Okay, there we go. I was wondering why nothing was loading. It was like, oh, because I paused the game. That's why. I don't know. Should I talk about the chess tournament now? I don't know. Okay. Well, maybe I will. I did a lot better. I'm very happy with how I did. Let me come over to the other screen to pull up. Let me see if I can pull up another one of the games. So I played 4 games in total. I won 3 out of the 4, which I was very proud of. If you remember, I was ridiculed by getting beaten by children in the last game, in the last tournament. The last tournament I also played. So the tournaments are usually 5 games, right? You play 3 on the first day and 2 on the second day. Wait a minute. Where is the games? I gotta find a link. Okay, wait a minute. So what we'll do is oh, lordy, stars and garters. Okay. Oh. Wait, what? Let me try and use GitHub Mobile. Okay, yes, use GitHub Mobile. All right, just give me a minute. We're having some technical difficulties. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to get to the place where I have the games stored. Okay, let's use the Authenticator app. Just give me a second. Technical difficulties here. I'm working on it. No! Oh, it worked. Okay. All right. So, I'm going to go over 2 games. I want to try this. I'm going to try going over 2 games here. Give me a second to import. Oh, my Lord. Stars and garters. Give me a second to import this. Let's see. How can I import a game onto chess.com? I think it's under Learn, Analysis, and then Share, Practice, New Analysis, maybe? Set up position, load from library, load from pin. Okay, there we go. That's what I want. Okay. Let me change this really quick. I'm working on it. Just give me a second. I'm still here. Just Joe, just wait a minute, okay? Just give me a minute. Okay. I don't want to share this. Oh. Wait, copy. That's not going to work. Oh my stars and garters. What is going on? No, that's not what I wanted. Oh my God. Wait, maybe that is what I wanted. Is this what I wanted? Let me look at this really quick. Go over there. Yes, this is the one I wanted. Okay. So let's okay. So we can start there. So let me get this link here. We'll go whoopsie. Stars and garters. What is going on? All right, let me get the chat back up. This is coming out of your next. All right. So the tournament started on Saturday. And you got to realize that a lot of these tournaments, it's it's a lot of kids, and some of them are really young, right? Um, the first kid I played, well, the first two kids I played were probably about the same age. They were probably 10 to 12. Actually, that's not true. The first one, okay. Let me do it a different way. Let me do it a different way. I would say two of the kids I played were like 10 to 12. One was probably like 9, and then I think the last one was like 6. Probably like 6 or 7. Really young. We're gonna look at two games, and I'm gonna try my hand at chess analysis. All right, let's do a review. I was pretty proud of this game. Now, I had 85.5% accuracy, which means, I got a B. Or you can see my opponent, he got a C, which is obviously why I won. I had two great moves because I'm just that good compared to his measly one. And you can see just like overall in the stats here, I just did better. I had no blunders and no misses, which was very rare. And over the board is like a different experience, right? Like my first tournament, and maybe it's because I was nervous because it was my first tournament, but I just got my ass handed to me. And it just got progressively worse. This was the first game of this tournament, and winning this game really just boosted my confidence that, like, yeah, I can really beat up these 8-year-old kids. Now, this kid was probably like 10 or 11. But it just gave me confidence. I was like, wow, I actually can win in some chess games. So I'm white, and the other kid was black. And so I just start with a normal, like, I've been practicing a lot of the Vienna. Now, of course, the Vienna will only work if your opponent goes with the knight there, which, of course, he didn't do, because that's just how chess kind of is. You spend all this time studying an opening, hoping your opponent will do what you want him to do so that you can, do this, which is really bad for black. But of course he didn't. He went here instead with the knight coming down to c6. So at this point, when this happens to me, I just I fall back to basics, right? I just fall back where I'm just going to develop my pieces and just get things out and castle. And that's exactly what it is. What it is. And so far, the computer seems to more or less agree. It's not really complaining. And it says, yeah, everything you're doing makes sense. And the stuff that the kid's doing makes sense too. He's doing more or less the same thing. He's just developing his pieces. This move here, when did he do this? This move right here, I guess the computer likes it. I'm not sure why. Maybe it wants to prevent my knight from going to g5. That's the only thing I can imagine. Yeah, that's probably it. Because if let's say he did, this, I put my knight. Oops, not there. I put my knight here. This is a really bad. That's really, really bad for white. And you can see the computer over here on the left-hand side. It says it's really bad for black. So maybe I don't know. Whoa, this is a blunder. Okay, I don't know. This is why I don't do chess commentary, because I'm not very good at chess. Why is this bad for white? What is the move here? What is the move? Anyway, well, whatever. Well, he did good. He made a good move when he moved that down, preventing that. Anyway, and I've done the same thing I've done the same kind of thing, and I think I do it over on the left hand side in a couple of seconds and a couple of moves. So he brings his knight out. We both castle. All right. And here's where it got interesting. So he takes my bishop. I'm going to take back with the pawn, and then he brings this move. Scared me. I remember seeing this move, and I was trying to think how I could get my knight out of the way. And like for a minute, I was contemplating this, but of course that just leads to this, just reinforcing this knight's protection, because I can't take it because he'll just take my queen. So I was also, for this move with the knight also scared me, because this move right here is really bad. That's really bad, because this square, that pawn's not protected. And if he's able to get his knight here, he's attacking both my queen and my rook, and I'm losing one, right? And it doesn't matter what I do. Rooks are going to be, even a knight for a rook, that's a good trade. You take that trade basically any day you can. So that's why I brought my queen right here to e2 in order to protect this knight and also to stop from any possible forks. So we continue just playing. I kick his knight out. His knight goes back to f6. We kind of just shuffle it along. I ignore this. I don't know why, but I decided to ignore this attack. I decided not only to ignore this attack, right? I decided to undefend it, right? It's still defended by the queen, but it was probably preferable to be defended by the pawn. But you can see here the computer says no, this was actually a good move, and it's like, yeah, of course it was, because I made it. So he takes the bishop. I recapture back with my queen. And now he starts pushing on the left-hand side. Oh, no. Oh, okay. This was another genius move of mine, right? So he comes out pretty aggressively, attacking my bishop. Not a lot I can do. It's not like I can take that. He would just recapture. I obviously can't take the bishop. So your first instinct, right, is to move your queen out of harm's way. But aha! This is where my genius started to pay off. Instead, I block. Now, the computer doesn't really like this. And let me tell you something. I am by no means a chess expert. But I am an expert at bad chess. I am also an expert at knowing how bad chess players think. When the computer evaluates a position, it's evaluating the position based on best play. So it's going to say this move is bad because a grandmaster can take advantage of it because of X, Y, and Z. That's what the computer is about. That's how the computer thinks. But who in the hell is an 800-900 level chess player that's making grandmaster moves? You got to think like an 800 or 900 player. And if you can think like an 800 or 900 player, you're going to know what they're thinking. You're going to know how to exploit what they're thinking. So anyway, I kind of disagree with the computer. I mean, I'm sure like if this was Magnus Carlsen versus, Fabiano Caruana, that this would be a terrible move. But this is two people who are probably rated like, I think my rating jumped up to 800 after this tournament, 800 and some. And this kid was, I think, 900. I have it here. He was 981. He was 981 at the beginning of this game. So anyway, so I decided to block. With obviously my reasoning being that it's attacked twice, but it's defended 3 times. So I should be able to get a piece if he attacks, which he doesn't. He just moves his bishop out of the way, and I don't know what I was thinking here. I literally don't know what I was thinking here when I moved my knight here. I don't know. I thought maybe I could bring my wow, why didn't I do that? I was going to say I was thinking maybe I could bring my knight. Oh, I remember now. So when I made this move, I was thinking I could bring my knight here, threatening his rook. But then, so he came here, and my first instinct was to actually do that, right? That was my first instinct, was to capture that pawn on C7. Thinking, okay, well, how is he going to respond to that? Well, the problem is if I did that, he would just respond like this. And as you can see, the computer just says that's terrible for white. Like, I mean, it just keeps getting lower and lower and lower. It was really bad. So luckily I saw that. And so instead I just brought my knight back. So if you notice, I put my knight there and then brought it right back. But but now that this pawn is here, I'm thinking, oh, good, he's going to bring this out. That's what he's going to do. He's going to bring that pawn out. He shuffles his rook. I don't understand why. He does this a couple times in the game. I bring this pawn up, anticipating this move. Well, not that move. You can't. That's an illegal. I was anticipating something like this here. I don't know, something like that. But it made me nervous with this rook having access to this file. But I wasn't too concerned about it because my king was on the other side of the board and it was protected by my 2 rooks. So I wasn't super concerned about it. So anyway, I brought my knight back. He shuffles his rook. I bring that up. And now he brings his rook. And so now I know he's definitely planning to bring his pawn down. I no question about it. And at this point, this is the 17th move of the game. And you got to understand when you're playing in these chess tournaments, at least in the the peon class of chess tournaments I play in, you're in this big room, and there's like 30 chess boards, and there's like 60 people, and they're all playing chess, and all the matches begin at the same time, but they don't end at the same time. And some matches, and like one of the things I do, and I'm sure other people do this too, is I think like, well, as long as I'm not like as long as I'm not in one of the first three people to end the game, or as long as I'm not one of the first three people to lose, right? Like if I checkmate somebody in 5 moves, bonus, I'll take it. But I don't want to get checkmated in 5 moves. I want to be able to last a respectable amount of time, where at least I'm like, okay, I put up a good fight, even if I've lost. And so at this point in the game, I'm thinking, okay, people are starting to shuffle out of the hall, and I'm like, all right, maybe now I've put up a respectable game, maybe, I don't know. So I moved my queen down because I was anticipating this move. I felt that was coming if I kept my queen there, and that's exactly what he did do. But instead of taking back, I didn't want to take back because he would have just won. It's not like I could have recaptured, right? He just would have taken. So actually, I just come up and defend. Kind of hoping that he would take, but I figured he probably wouldn't, because I mean, if he would have taken, I wouldn't have taken back, but maybe I would have. I don't know. So he pushes down. I bring my knight over here, attacking that, and then now he's going to bring his pawn. Oh no, okay, I'm wrong. He brings his rook down. He did a lot of interesting, weird rook moves that I didn't quite understand. Like I remember looking at this rook over here a lot, because you're going to see that this rook, at this point, this rook, from here until the end game, this rook's like not even in the game, right? He can't, because what he wants to do is he wants to shuffle over and attack here. But he can't, because my pawn is here, and then I have a pawn here. So he can't go here, I'll take, and he can't go there, because I'll take. All right, so here's where I start thinking. This is where I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to attack. I'm going to attack this kid. This kid, he's 10 years old. I'm a grown man. Surely I can kick his ass, right? So my thought is to bring my knight over to h4 with eventually bringing it over to f5. So that's what I start. The computer hates this move. It calls me an idiot. It says you are the biggest idiot in the world, and especially because I just hung a pawn. Now, when he did that move, I am not ashamed to admit, I didn't see it. I did not even see that my pawn was hanging. And it was actually hanging for quite a while, right? Like, look at that. That pawn, like, look at this. Look, okay, it's not hanging there. It starts hanging when I move my queen right here. So it's hanging for a fair number of moves, right? So he takes it immediately, but I bring my queen here, putting pressure on him, with thoughts of eventually going here. Because look at that square. Look how pretty that square looks. It's not defended, right? This pawn is only being defended by the king. And I have a rook behind me. So if I can get my queen there, he's going to have to move over. I don't necessarily have a check or anything, or a checkmate, but I do have this. And then that's going to cause a lot of problems if I, do something else. I don't know what, but it's going to cause problems. So he moves his queen back. I decide I ultimately wanted my queen here on this square. So that's what I did. I moved my queen over there. And this is where he makes a mistake. And this, I don't think this is a blunder. Is it a blunder? What move are we on? Maybe it is. Yes, I think this is a blunder. Oh, wait, no. Okay, apparently I didn't make that mistake yet. Okay, so what did I do? Oh, that's right. I don't know why I did this. Or do I? Wait a minute. Oh, okay. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. Okay, so I move my knight here with thoughts of taking this pawn, because he can't recapture because my queen is pinning this pawn. So he takes with the bishop. I capture back with the rook. What does he do? Okay, that's what it was. That's where it happened. This is where the weird rook move came up. He moved his rook up, and you can see the computer is like, what? Huh? And now, notice, this is just a free knight. And I don't think he saw that originally, but this is just a free knight because I can take, and he can't capture. He can't capture back because, again, the queen is pinning this pawn to the king. So he realizes he's screwed up at this point. He moves the king out of the way, and now I have to move the rook back because now that pawn's not pinned anymore. He's okay. And I move over, so now I've doubled up my rooks. It's not looking good for him. I could go here, he could capture, and then I could come back, and that's check, and then I can come up here, and I can capture that, and then it's eventually just going to be checkmate. Already looking pretty bad for him. He moves his queen over to come help. I decide... At this point, I decide this king, my knight is just being an idiot over here on B2 on the edge of the board. Like, hey, I'm a horse. So I want to start trying to bring him into the center, which is what I did. The computer hates it, thinks it's a terrible idea. Apparently, the computer is racist against knights, thinking that they deserve to be on the side of the board, and that's where they should stay. He brings the pawn down. He has play, and so again, I bring the knight more towards the action. He comes down, trying to be clever. Right, but I just capture, and then he captures. Whoop, 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 whoop. He just captures. Oh, he just pushes down to attack my rook. This pawn here, that's going to be a mistake. And actually, now I think about it, he probably should have just given up that pawn, given up his pawn on the e file. He should have just taken, probably. But instead, he had eyes on the queen, right? So I move my rook out of the way, and he captures this pawn. This is when the fun starts. It's already getting fun. It's already been fun, but this is when the fun starts. I start pushing. What's he going to do? He's not going to take, right? If he takes, it's trouble. Because I'm going to push up with this. He's going to have to move his queen out of the way. Where's he going to move his queen? Here? Okay, well, then I just go here, right? Or I don't know where I go. But it's trouble. So he pushes down. All right, let's keep marching. Let's march again. Let's march. Let's keep marching, fool. Now he realizes, I think this was at the point where he was like, wow, yeah, no, that pawn's going to be problematic. So he moves in front to block it. I push up with my other pawn. I'm like, all right, I got to start moving my forces forward. I got this pawn here on the edge of the board. It can help me. He realizes, and now look how long that rook was there. This rook here was just sitting there. It was just sitting there. Look at, wait. Okay. It goes there on move. What move is this? What move number is this? What move number? I don't know. It goes there on some move. But it's like 1, 2. That rook is not even in the game. It's like he didn't even have it. But finally, he realizes he needs it. So he pushes up. I take. No, I don't. I threaten his queen. Sorry. I threaten his queen. He moves his queen out of the way. Now I take? Yes, now I take. So the computer says this is a brilliant move, which I absolutely agree with because I made it. The reason the computer says it's a brilliant move is because he comes down here and he's attacking my knight. And I saw that. I saw that he was attacking the knight. But I didn't care. Because if I take this, and then he, like, let's say I did this, and then he does this, he's got trouble. It's just trouble written all over it. I can take this, maybe he takes, and then I come over here. There's all kinds of problems. It's not like he can block with the queen. Where could he go? He could go here, I suppose, and then I could go here. He goes there. There's going to be problems, right? It's going to be problematic. That's going to be a problem. But anyway, I would have figured it out. I would have thought about it more. So he realizes that he realizes that capturing the queen, the knight, is going to do him no good. So he's like, he needs to bring that rook to the party. And that was a good move of him. This had me stumped, right? Because my plan before that move was to take this pawn, but now I can't because the pawn is protecting my queen in a sense. It's blocking the rook, so I can't take it. So instead, I just decide, okay, well, let me bring my knight up. Let me bring the horse to the party. he checks me. I think he just checks me because he didn't have any other ideas. He didn't know what to do. He can't take this pawn, right? Because I'll just capture. And he's kind of screwed at this point. I move out of the way. Very simple move. He moves his king up. Now, here, I had an option. No, I didn't. I was thinking, what was I thinking? For some reason, I was thinking I could take, but no, he would just capture my queen. So I think I did the only thing I could do, and that was push. Now, he can't let me get this. He can't move it. He can't move his rook here. You want to keep the rook at this point. You want to keep it near the king. But he can't put it there. I'll just take. And he can't put it here in front of the king because I'll just take. So he moves it back. Or he moves it. Oh, wait. No. Wait. Yeah, he moves it out of the way. He just moves it out. And the computer hates that move, right? I think the computer suggested I don't know. I guess. Oh, that's right. When things start looking grim, the computer's like, you need to sacrifice your queen. The only way you're getting out of this mess is if you sacrifice your queen. But he didn't do that. Just, players at this low of a level, and that's not a knock on him because I'm at that low level right with him. Players at this low, we don't want to sacrifice our queen because the queen that's our strongest piece, and we're scared. We're scared to play without it. But the game's over at this point. Checkmate right here is unavoidable. I simply take the king. He blocks with the rook, and then I take the rook, and that's checkmate, guarded by the bishop, or guarded by the pawn. So this was a game that I was pretty proud of, from about right here. About right here is kind of when I started scheming of that whole plan to put my pieces to the right side of the board and to start just pushing up. And that's exactly what I did. One of the things about chess, if you watch chess videos or read any books, they're like, you got to have a plan, and you got to have a plan in the middle game, and you got to have a plan. And this is kind of far into the middle game. Maybe this is the end game. I'm not sure, but that's what I did. I had my plan to bring my pieces over. I stuck to the plan, and it worked out. I was able to push up. And then, like I said, eventually just able to deliver a checkmate. And like I said, this was the first game. I was really proud because I was proud of the fact that I was not able, that not only was I able to win, but that I was able to win with an actual checkmate. And the kid, because a lot of opponents, they'll just resign, right? They'll resign because they don't want to be checkmated. I'm looking at another. Is this no, this is a different game. Okay, we'll go over this one too. But so a lot of opponents, they'll resign before you have a chance to checkmate them. But this kid, he knew. I think he probably knew a few turns before this that he was checkmated. So, but he let me checkmate. I even at some point, I don't even think I actually made this. We shook hands, and then he moved my queen there to let me check, to say yes, I know I lost. He was a good sport. He was a good kid. We'll go over this other one really quick again because I'm just kind of proud of these games. I mean, I won a tournament, so I didn't win a tournament. Oh, but one thing I did mention, I don't know if I told you this, Joe. From this tournament, I won a whole $130. $130 in prize money. I was very proud of that. $130. Overall in the tournament, I came in 8th, which out of like 100 and some people, not bad. Not shabby. The old guy still got some bite left in him. Oh, wait, the city's still running behind here. Is it? Hey, the population's still growing. Let's just, hey, why mess with a good thing, right? Let's just keep this where it's at. I can't move. Why can I not? Okay. Well. Oh, okay. Duh. All right. So let's go over this last game. Is this it? Yes. All right. This game was I think this was the last game, I think. And you can see the player was at this rate, when I started this tournament, I had a provisional rating of, I don't even want to say. It was a provisional rating that was really bad. It was like 500 and something. It was terrible. It was really terrible. It was like 500 and something. But you got to remember, in that first tournament, I lost 3 games, and I had 1 draw. So of course it was going to be terrible. I mean, like I hadn't won a game. I didn't win it. It was 534. 534. Now my provisional rating, thank you very much, is, I'm looking it up. My provisional rating now is a 858. Thank you. You see that P8? That's like a provisional. That means provisional rating based off of 8 games. So my overall record is 3-4-1. All right, which is not great, but it's getting there. It's getting there. Baby steps. You guys, baby steps. All right, so let me look at something really quick. Let me just check my messages. I haven't really checked with the outside world for a while. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to this. Okay, so this is the last game, and then this is the last thing we're gonna do, and then we'll close out the stream. In this game, I had a couple of interesting things happen, which I'll talk about as we get to them. So, starts out again very normal. He allowed me to play this is the Vienna. This is what you want from a Vienna, and for some reason, I almost didn't want to play it, right? Because it's like one thing to play it like when you're on chess.com. Like I've been, studying an opening and then you play it, but you just play it on chess.com. But when you're over the board, you're like, oh my God, I almost didn't play it. But I was like, no, I study this opening. I know it okay. Like I need to put that to practice. So I did what I should do. I pushed up my pawn, and then he did this. I wasn't sure what to do. I think the right move here is what I did, is to bring I took. And then I just start developing. I should look that up to see what the correct response is to that. I think it might be to move the knight here. Anyway, but that's what I eventually did. He comes out, good move on his part. He blocks my castling, right? Because you can't castle you can't castle through a check. So I push up with the thought of I got to get these things out of the way so I can do a long castle. He goes ahead and he does this. So the other kid did this too, and I'm guessing it was more the same thing, was to prevent this move because it's kind of like some fried liver kind of attack. So I think I guess all the kids are scared of fried livers, which I don't blame you, because because part of defending against the fried liver is using your D pawn, right? But his is gone already, so he can't defend it. So I guess I understand why he would do it. It's interesting that in the last game, the computer said it was a good move, but I didn't understand it. In this game, I say it's a good move, but now the computer doesn't understand it. So it's just me and the computer are in conflict. Anyway, so I push up here. The computer I did the same thing because I was kind of scared of the same thing, right? Like I didn't want him moving his knight here and then checking me, and then who knows what kind of mess I get into. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do the same thing. Yeah, we'll do the same thing, kid. That's cool. So he brings this bishop out. I bring my queen. The computer is an idiot. I hate the computer sometimes. The computer like, what are you doing? Well, what I'm doing is I'm moving my queen out of the way, and now I'm going to move my bishop out of the way so that I can castle. So he castles. He does short castle. I move my bishop out of the way. Now, he does something here that I was surprised at. I was surprised. I thought he would probably either go back, or he would go here, or maybe bring a pawn up. But instead, he just gets aggressive and he attacks. I'm like, oh, so that's how you want to play. So I recapture. He brings his rook over. An odd move. I don't quite understand what this is. Maybe okay, I understand it, because you got my queen and my king lined up on the same file. Even though there's 2 pawns in between them, you never know what could happen, right? You never know when those pawns could fall off the board and suddenly I'm in a pin with my queen and my queen is gone. So I guess the computer hates it, but I do understand his reasoning. I castle. And then we just love, look, we each move our flank pawns 1 square each. Anyway, so here's where it gets interesting. Okay, all right. Here's where I made a couple of interesting thoughts. So I, for some reason, I don't know why, I bring my bishop back. He brings his bishop to attack mine. Now, at first, instead of attacking or just leaving it alone, I didn't want to move the pawn in front of my king. All right. So instead, I move my bishop back once more, figuring if he takes, I can recapture with my knight. That was my logic behind the move, even though the computer hated it. Okay. So he does this, trying to bring his knight into my space. So I was thinking, well, crap. I can't really take, because if I take, he recaptures, and that's a fork. And I can't, I'm going to lose either a knight or a queen, because I can't recapture the pawn, because he would just recapture with his queen. So I'm like, well, so then I start thinking, well, how can I block his queen, right? What can I put on this square now in order to block his queen? And I was thinking about this knight here for a while. I was thinking I could move that here, but I ended up going with the bishop. And the reason I ended up going with the bishop was because figuring he has to respond to that. He has to take it. Because if he doesn't take it, well, he has two options. He either moves his rook out of the way or he loses the rook. Right? If he doesn't take, his only options are to move the rook or lose the rook. So I knew if I moved here, he would take, which would mean that there would be a black piece in front of the blocking the queen, because he's not going to take with the queen because I just recapture. So there would be a black piece blocking and ultimately a white piece blocking. So that way, that little fork, that little trickery fork idea that he had in mind wouldn't work. So I put the bishop there. He takes. I ended up doing this because I'm like, all right, well, I want to keep blocking. I want to keep blocking this file from the queen. I don't want your queen to ever see this knight. I don't want it. So he decides, all right, fine. Then I'm just going to take. And here I thought, this was probably the biggest pause of the game, where I thought for a good 5 to 10, maybe not 10 minutes, but I did think for a good 5 minutes here. I kept debating whether to take with the pawn or with the knight. And I wasn't sure which one was better. Ultimately, I decide that I want to take with the queen. Did I say knight? No, I was debating if I wanted to take with the queen or the pawn. I ended up taking with the queen because I figured I could bring one of my rooks behind my queen, and kind of like in the last game, I'm not going to obviously do it now because it's guarded by the bishop, not like that, but eventually maybe I can have some sights on there, on that pawn. Okay. So he moves his bishop back. Now this pawn is just sitting there. This is a theme of these two games where you have a pawn, an advanced pawn in enemy territory that is just wreaking havoc by itself. This pawn's going to be a hero in a minute. You just watch it. I stick with my plan, moving my rook over, because now that he's moved the bishop out of the way, this is just ripe for the taking now. He sees that, he defends with the rook. The computer hates it. I think the computer wanted rook to e7, I think, instead, but the computer's an idiot. What does the computer know? Here I was looking, I realized that he has this, and this is a check. And I wasn't worried about it right at this moment because there wouldn't be anything bad. If he checked me now, then I just move over. But I was thinking, like, what if I had, what if my queen was over here, right? And then he moves the queen out, and then he can capture that pawn, and then he's just going to wreak havoc or whatever. So I go ahead and I move my king out of the way. The computer hates this move. I don't know why, but the computer really does hate it. But I thought it was a good move because now he can't force a move on me, right? So the computer, I think the computer just doesn't like me. He does this. Now, this was an interesting part. So I think I don't know if it was Joe that didn't think en passant was actually a thing. Somebody I was playing with online was like that's not a real thing, and it is. But at this level, it's a joke that en passant is forced, right? It's a joke that like if you are able to en passant, you have to en passant just for the sake of en passanting. And so when I was looking at this move, and I'm realizing I can en passant, I was really thinking, well, can I? Or no, I mean, I can, but should I? Like, I was really concerned that I was just going to en passant for the sake of en passant, right? And so I looked at this again this was another one where I sat and I looked, but and I was really tempted to almost push up because I really liked that my queen would have eyes on this rook. But then part of me was like, well, what good is that even going to do me? Right? Like that rook is guarded by like two big pieces. So I decided, yeah, I'm going to en passant. Screw you, kid. Now again, this rook, a hero. I mean, I'm sorry, this pawn, a hero. It's going to be a hero. He can't take this with his bishop, because if he does, I just capture, and that is a free bishop if he takes, right? Because nothing's guarding it, so he can't take. So instead, he moves his bishop out of the way. Here, I was really hoping he would move his bishop out of the way here, like that he would move his bishop here, because what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring my pawn down. He would have to move his queen, because he can't take it. Or no, he could take it. He could take the pawn, but his bishop would be right here on c8, and then that would give me this rook for free, right? Though I was a little concerned of like how would I be able to get my queen out of there, but I wasn't. But I thought, okay, I should be able to take here. I should be able to get my queen out of there if I have to. But it didn't. But it ended up being moot because so when I push up, he just brings his queen here to prevent me from queening. Now here is a move. It's pretty obvious now looking at it, but I was very proud of it. The knight coming in, not just to protect that pawn, right? I'm threatening a fork, and I'm threatening another fork. Like, okay, yeah, you want to move your king out of the way? I'm still going to fork you. You want to move your bishop out of the way, or your rook out of the way? I'm still going to fork you. Like, I thought this was a great move. And really, like, can I label this move? Yes, right here, right there. Perfect. Yeah, brilliant. As a matter of fact, can I make it more brilliant? Can I add? No. It needs to be really brilliant. Okay. Anyway, so the knight, great move. Loved it. At this point, I know he's in trouble, right? This queen is pretty much a prisoner. It can't, it can go over here, but it's pretty much a prisoner. The queen, it can't go here, right? Because then all I do is I just check you, and then I just take the queen. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident in the game. This was a great response from him. I did not even consider this move, but I knew at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be able to win his queen, but I can still win a rook. And I calculated, from this point, check. He moves the king out of the way. I take the bishop with my queen. And then around this point, I was like, all right, I should be able to push my pawn to queen it, forcing him to take with a rook, and then I recapture, and then he recaptures. And the worst case scenario for me would have been a trading a knight for a rook, which is a good trade, which I get the better end of that, definitely. So I go ahead, I do this. Now, mind you, I can capture his queen, but then I would lose mine, and it wasn't a good trade. I just wasn't comfortable with that. So he does this. He moves his king out of the way. I take his bishop, and now he has another good move that I wasn't expecting. And that's like, okay, he's basically forcing a queen trade. Here, I was proud of my move again as well. I decide, okay, well, I'm going to ignore that for a second, and I'm going to make another queen. So not only in this game have I played en passant, but I've queened a pawn in both games. And if you look at this, I am going to end up a rook up, because what happens is he takes my new queen, I take his existing queen, he takes my queen, I take his rook, and he takes my knight. And as you can see, I have 2 knights to his 1 knight. And at this point, it's just a kind of standard endgame, which I thought I played pretty well. He tried to defend as best he could, but really, when you're down by an entire rook, I'm just going to go through, start eating up pawns like crazy. He, for a minute here, he did have me a little concerned, because when he moved his rook here, when he moved his rook over here to f8, I'm like, oh, he's going to try and come down, force something on me, and then he's going to try and come behind me and start eating my rooks, or eating my pawns. But he couldn't really do that, because the whole time he is a threat of ladder mate. So I come here, check him. I'm just eating up pawns. He takes this pawn, but I'm not too concerned about that pawn. Whatever, it's a pawn. I'll be all right. I've got others, and I've got an extra rook. Here, I'm threatening a ladder mate, right? If I go there, that's mate, so he has to come back to protect it. And then I just eat another pawn. Now he kind of just sits here, and at this point is like, well, wait, let me mention something really quick. Notice how that one pawn I said it was going to be a hero. Where did it go? And it was, right? Here it was. And it became a hero that got me up by an entire rook. And then we go through, eating up the pawns, and then at this point, I just start marching my pawn here. And you can see that he had kind of given up at this point. He's just marching his king back and forth. And for a minute, I thought, is this little shit trying to stalemate me like that kid did in the very first game I ever played? But I knew he had this pawn. Like, so stalemate's not an option. He has a legal move. He has that pawn, and he has the rook. Of course, he's gonna have a legal move. But here, he just moves the king out of the way. I bring my rook here. He moves the king there, and that's checkmate. So I was pretty proud of that game. I was pretty proud of these 2 games. The other game that I won, the kid ended up resigning before I could checkmate him, but that's fine. A win is a win, and then I lost the game. Maybe I'll cover those as well. I'll have to enter them into the computer and everything. But that's going to be it for me for tonight. This has been a long stream. I've talked a lot. Really didn't play a lot of Cities Skylines. Whoa! Look at that! Oh my God! Okay. Whoa! Look at how the demand. Oh my stars and garters! Oh my Lord! Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, Joe. I know you got to get to bed, but let me just fill this up right here with some dense residential. I mean, I am a sucker for dense residential. All right, let me see. Let me just do this really quick. Yeah, buddy, look at that. Look at that, buddy. Aren't you proud? But yep, we're going to call it a night. Let me save this game. Question mark, save. So thanks a lot, guys. I'm going to do my best to be here on Wednesday. But again, I leave next week for India, but I'll talk about that on Wednesday, and I'll see you then. Have a great night, everybody, and take care. Bye-bye.